Hello, everybody. Greetings to all. Welcome to the Snooker Hall podcast. I'm Dan Murren. It has been a few weeks since the previous episode. Thank you again to Liam Pullum for taking the time to join me. A lot has happened in the snooker world recently. A couple of truly feel-good stories to talk about. To discuss recent events and to look ahead to the Champion of Champions, I'm joined by a very special guest. He is a huge snooker fan and he has been making waves as the host of Baize Breakdown, one of the fastest growing and best snooker channels on YouTube. I'm very happy to welcome the man behind it all, Tom. Welcome to the Snooker Hall podcast.
Hello, Dan. How are you?
Very well today. Very well. A little bit tired. I'm just been back from holiday, so a little bit jet lagged. Not
Yeah.
sleeping great at the moment. It'll take a few days to get over that, but it has meant that I was able to get up early and watch the snooker on Sunday. So
Yeah, I mean, swings
that
and
was
roundabouts.
yeah. So
Yeah.
every cloud has a silver lining. I
Every
was able to
cloud,
watch
yeah.
the Yize match in full.
A great match.
Did you? Yeah,
Yeah,
it was.
I mean, it was a great match. I mean, if you make 4 centuries in any best of 19, you deserve to win, you know, against anybody. And I'm really happy for him because, at the start of this season, and I kind of predicted that he would be one of the best players this year, alongside Joe O'Connor, which I obviously alluded to when we spoke before. But I just think he's someone new. It's good to see a young player coming through that has the potential to win more than like one or two ranking events. He looks like he could be a top 16 player for the next sort of 10 years. I actually heard John Higgins say that he thinks he's reminded of Paul Hunter when he sees Wu Yize, which I think is great.
Yeah.
Great. Um, and I agree. I just think 4 centuries. I think Paul Hunter made 5 centuries in the final once. I think against Ronnie in the Masters 2004, I think. So there's comparisons there. Heavy scoring. So yeah, I'm really happy for him because we need some younger players. We can't have Ronnie and Mark Williams winning at 65. We need some young players, don't we?
I've said that on X before. It's the reliance on the nostalgia factor. Okay,
I love them.
in some ways it's okay, but we
Yeah,
can't rely on it.
I
It's
mean, yeah, as snooker players, I mean, obviously they're all different, and sometimes Ronnie annoys me with things he says. But forget about that for a minute. As a snooker players, those three are brilliant, and I want them to continue for as long as possible. But they can't be 70 and still be playing. We need someone, and someone like Wu. He can win now. I think he's that good. He can win big tournaments now. So yeah, really happy for him.
I saw him at the World Championship against Mark
Mark
Williams,
Williams, yeah,
and he played well, but it was just that little bit of experience that cost him in the end. And the other match, actually, the other player you mentioned, Joe O'Connor, he was up against John Higgins,
yeah.
and he did play better,
Hmm.
but John managed to get over the line. He ground out a win. It wasn't a great match to watch, but that bit of that large chunk of experience that the class of '92 would have over Joe O'Connor, over Wu Yize, it
Yeah,
did make the difference there. And I'm going to say it, he's 22 now. I'll be surprised if he's not a better player when he's 25.
yeah, something bad's going to have to happen, isn't it? For him not to be. He's 22 and he's already won a ranking event against John Higgins in a final 4 centuries. I mean, can you imagine? He's 30, how good he could be. But yeah, I think Crucible aside, when you come into the Crucible, the seasoned vets are usually the ones that win because it's tough there, isn't it? It's tough. But apart from that tournament, Wu Yize in the next few years, I think he's going to win loads, and I think he could be a world champion. Just needs to get that ring craft, doesn't he?
he, I watched, I was there in Brentwood last September
Yeah,
for
I
his
was.
final against Neil Robertson. Were you there on the day?
No, not for the final. Unfortunately, I haven't been to a final for a while. Actually, the last final I went to was the World Grand Prix in 2024 in Leicester. That was the last one in the UK. It's in Hong Kong now, and that was Ronnie O'Sullivan. I think he'd won 3 tournaments in a row: UK Masters and then the World Grand Prix. He beat
Oh
Judd in
yeah,
the
yeah.
final. Um, Yeah, great final actually. But yeah, I need to get to a final.
But there weren't many better finals than that English Open final last year.
Oh yeah,
Wu, okay, he fell behind early.
yeah,
Was it 7-2 down? I
yeah,
think he was, or yeah. But okay, people have said that maybe the pressure was off. He had nothing to lose at that point. But the way he reeled off those frames,
yeah,
one
yeah,
by one by one, it was impressive. He showed a bit of bottle there, actually.
yeah.
And okay, he may have lost, but what he would gain from that defeat may actually be more valuable.
100%.
Showed that no, you can't. I was worried when he's 5-2 up against John Higgins and he loses the last two frames.
Yes,
Even 6-3
yes, yeah,
is okay, but 5-4, John Higgins is right in it. 7-2 obviously would be perfect.
yeah.
But
Going into an even session 5-4, you're like, oh,
yeah, I feared for him. I did
yeah,
think John Higgins would come through and win that,
yeah.
but
Me too.
he
Yeah.
once again has proved me wrong. And yeah, I'm delighted for him. He's a nice lad. I met him very briefly at
Okay.
that Brentwood last year and saw his dad as well. The conversation wasn't maybe English is not the strongest part of
Yeah,
his snooker
he'll
repertoire.
get there. He'll
It's not.
get there.
Yeah, he will. Oh,
He'll
he
get
has.
there.
Yeah.
I mean, he's better than my Chinese, my Mandarin or Cantonese or whatever. So you know what I mean?
Yeah. Well, I have no doubt. I know like 3 words in Chinese.
Yeah.
But, yeah.
I like him
Um.
though. He's got a bit of style about him, hasn't he? The long hair. He reminds me a little bit of like Jimmy
Yes.
White.
It's more of a mullet now because
Yeah,
earlier in the season and late last season it was more of a. I know it had he tied it in some way.
yeah,
It looked
yeah, yeah,
different, but now it's more like the mullet, and I think it
yeah.
kind of suits him. It
Kind of
stands out.
Jimmy White in the '90s kind of vibe.
Yeah, yeah.
Yeah.
Hmm. I wanted to make a joke there, but I don't think I should.
Mm,
But yeah, this is I don't know when you see a young lad like that, he plays the game in an attacking way.
mm-hmm.
You can see he's got talent. You can see he's a nice lad.
Yeah.
Ah, it's just like the week or 2 weeks earlier. This is something that will unite snooker fans.
Oh, 100.
Nobody's, people love John Higgins. He's a great player, one of the greatest of all time.
Yeah.
But if we had a choice, John Higgins winning ranking event 34, 35, 36, whatever it is, or Yize winning his first, I think most neutrals are going to say, well, we want the young lad to win. We want
I
the
agree, and I think
future
John will
to
have
come
chances to
through.
win more anyway.
He will.
He will. He's not going to go anywhere in the next couple of years. I don't think so. Yeah, John will win another tournament at some point. So.
And of course, the other feel-good story recently,
Yeah.
just a little event in Belfast.
Yeah.
Nothing major happened. Just once again, the snooker world uniting because we're happy for Jack Lisowski.
I was so happy. I thought when he beat Kyron Wilson, I think it was Kyron in the quarters, I was like, oh, this is different. Because Kyron's a player now, world champion. You expect Kyron to win tournaments. He's such a good player. But when he beat Kyron, I thought, oh. But then I was looking at the other side of the draw and I thought, Judd. And how many times? I think they've played in 2 finals already. Maybe 3 finals. I'm not too sure. But they've played in a few finals and I thought, he's going to have to beat Judd. That's what's going to have to happen. And I thought, no disrespect to Jack, but I thought there's no way he's beating him over 2 sessions. I thought, but it was so close. It was so close. I think it was like 6-all. And then I was like, right, Jack's got a chance. And there was a few shots that Jack played, safety shots. And I thought, oh, Jack, please, just give a little bit more time to it. And you could win this. Because Judd wasn't playing well. Judd was scrapping, he was playing his B game. But the fact that he won, I was so happy for him because now he's won 1. I'm not saying he's going to go on and win 40 and challenge Ronnie and Stephen Hendry, but I think he now will win more because that monkey's off his back. He's too good not to win a few more, I'd say, and I'm so happy for him.
Yeah, I would agree. I can't see him reaching. I'll be surprised if he makes double figures, to be honest. But for him to get to the Stephen Maguire, Ali Carter level, 5, 6, 7.
Yeah.
I think that's realistic.
Yeah, especially because he's now 34, I believe, or he's early 30s anyway. And if he was 20, then yeah, he's going to win loads. But I think he's kind of missed that point where you could become a record breaker or whatever. He's got the ability, but I think 5. That would be That'd be great for him, considering that for like 15 years he was the best player to never win a ranking event. 5 ranking events would be amazing. Come on, Jack.
He can do it. He
He
can
can
do
do
it.
it.
And
He can do it.
he just, and well, actually, we do have an email about this later on, but you made a video on Jack Lisowski recently.
I did.
And I've watched it twice. The first time I watched it, I thought, oh, I don't know if I agree with that. I think that's a bit harsh, but I've looked at it again, and the second time, I thought, do you know what? Maybe Tom has got a point there. And you just mentioned it there, the
Yeah.
safety play. Don't want to give too many spoilers away for the video, but
Yeah.
what were your inspirations for that video?
I'll give spoilers for my own video. If you want to go and watch it, go and watch it. But I do a ranking system usually, and it's only a little bit of fun. People take it too seriously sometimes in the comments. And basically, what I do is out of 50, I rank players across break building, long potting, safety play, their temperament, and then I do a little head to heads. I look at their rivals at the end and sort of rank them. And if they've done well in their head to heads, then they get a higher score. And Jack Lisowski, I mean, his break building is honestly, you're talking top 8, top 10 in the world consistently. He is one of the best break builders in the world. Unbelievable. The stats and everything back it up. And his long potting is fantastic, but it's his safety play. And I watch quite a lot of footage. I mean, I don't watch hours and hours, but I watch, a lot of snooker anyway. And I ranked him the lowest I've ranked anybody for safety. Just because, not because he's not able to play the shots, but I just see so many times he just doesn't take care over his shots sometimes. And maybe it's a bit harsh. I think I gave him 5 out of 10. Still okay. It's not the worst it could be. But I think sometimes with Jack, he infuriates me because I think he's got all of that. He's got all of that talent. And if he could just refine it a little bit and improve his tactical play, he'd be a top 8 player. But yeah, maybe it was a bit harsh. But I really don't think his safety play is anywhere near the level he needs to win, like you say, double figures of ranking events. You can't. Sometimes he played a shot against Judd Trump where he was snookered on a red. And the red was next to the green, and it's in the video. If you want to go and see the shot I'm talking about, it's in the video. And he tried to play off one cushion and clip the red up the table, but he just got down and hit it. And he missed. He hit the red, but he just thinly snicked it. And the white was in the middle of the table. And you're letting probably the best break builder in the game right now an easy opportunity. Don't get me wrong, he went on to win the match. But on another day, if Judd's been playing well, he could have lost that match because of that shot. And I just thought, please, Jack, please. But he must know that his safety is not his, best attribute. But yeah, bit harsh, but I stand by it because I think that's the part of the game he needs to improve in, I think.
Well, in the modern game, I think it is a necessity. It used to be the case, and obviously the game evolves, the sport evolves as time goes by. But when you look at the top players now, and I include Judd Trump in that, obviously, Kyron Wilson.
Yeah.
And I think one of the underrated players for this is Neil Robertson. The safety play, the intelligence, the tactical know-how, the nous, whatever you want to call it. It's up there.
Yeah.
Obviously, the experienced guys, the class of 92, they've got it in spades.
Yeah.
But I think Neil Robertson is one of the benchmarks for that because he's so smart. He can force the opponent to just leave him those chances. And obviously, the long potting then comes into play. If you haven't got a good safety game, you're less likely to force a mistake from your opponent. You're less likely to get chances.
Exactly.
Therefore, you're less likely to win matches. That's why Neil Robertson has won 25 odd, or more than that now, ranking tournaments. And Jack Lisowski's only just won his first.
Yeah, no, completely agree.
It's not a coincidence.
It's not. No, it's not. It's not at all. Yeah, I agree with you on the Neil Robertson thing. I think when he's at his best, I think he can be a little bit negative sometimes. But when he's playing at his best, yeah, his safety play is really, really good. It's a mystery to me, just talking about Neil Robertson, because he's so good in all areas, why he hasn't won more. I mean, he's won loads, but I mean, what I mean is, one world title. And I think he's only been to the one table setup like once or twice, which is staggering how good he is. I don't understand why, but, that's another thing. But yeah, I agree with you. His safety play is brilliant, brilliant.
It really is, and I would agree. Actually, I've been very vocal about that. I think he could be a lot more positive, and it was after he beat Ronnie in that Saudi Arabia final. Was that in
Yeah,
Jeddah or Riyadh? I think it was in Jeddah,
yeah,
and it's like you're 7-2 up, but I think he went into a shell there. And okay, it's easy for me to say it from my armchair. Like you're facing arguably the greatest player of all time.
yeah. Ronnie wasn't playing
Yeah,
bad, was he? You know what I mean? Ronnie was playing well, so
no, yeah. But you're playing the greatest player, maybe. I would
yeah,
disagree, but there many people would say he's the greatest of all time. It's easy for me to say, well, just keep doing what you're doing. It's easy. It's like, well,
yeah.
it's really not easy.
No,
It's and he wouldn't be human if
for
it
half a
didn't.
million
If there
quid, as
wasn't
well. Yeah,
exactly £500,000, the prestige of winning this massive tournament. It's
yeah,
I can get why anyone would become a little bit, I wouldn't say nervous, but maybe it might affect them even that 1%.
yeah, yeah, yeah.
And but I think I've noticed it a few times where he has been very cautious and maybe hoping to just grind out the frames and get over the line that way.
Yeah,
It's
one of
like,
the
well, if you're
funniest
blowing
things.
Ronnie O'Sullivan away, then
Yeah,
no, keep going.
yeah, one of the funniest things. I don't know if you and all your listeners, if you watch a Neil Robertson match in a Triple Crown and Stephen Hendry's commentating, he will say that every single match that Neil is better when he's attacking and when he's quick and when he's at
He
21,
is.
22 seconds a shot. But it's funny because Hendry actually was the person that made me aware of it, and now I can't stop looking at it. It happens all the time. So Neil in the Worlds or the UK, you'll see it. He gets in his shell, which is, I don't know. Can we criticise someone that's won 25 ranking events? I mean, come on, like we can't. But it's just a small. We have, it's what we do. We analyse stuff. So you know,
I'm still a firm believer that on his day, Neil Robertson is pretty much unplayable.
yeah,
When he is in the zone,
yeah,
he's unstoppable. It's unbelievable to watch him because you just know, you can just see his demeanor around the table. Sometimes you just know he
yeah,
ain't gonna miss.
yeah, yeah.
And okay, for entertainment value, that's not great because okay, he's 40 points up, he's in, boom, he's winning this
He's
frame.
within the frame. Yeah,
But there are other players who you might not trust as much in that situation. Neil Robertson is one of the players you
he's
would
definitely
trust
up there.
to
Yeah,
win a frame when they're in front. And I would like to see him win more because I think he's great for snooker, really.
he is. Funnily enough, he's my next video. My next analysis video is Neil Robertson. And that will be coming out soon. Little plug there, little plug. But no, he's my next one. I actually asked the community to vote on who they wanted next, and Neil came up. So yeah, Neil's next. And I've been watching quite a lot of Neil recently to do the video, and he's amazing. I mean, he's one of the best players that's ever played the game. I stand by that. He's so good.
So long potting for Neil Robertson, 3 out of 10 maybe.
Yeah, 3 out of 10.
Two and a half out of
Needs
10.
to improve.
Needs work. Needs a
Yeah,
lot. Yeah.
yeah.
No, I'll be. When can we expect that?
I've done the script and audio, so it's looking like it will be Wednesday. Wednesday or Thursday. I try to do at least one a week video, but this week and for the foreseeable will be two. So midweek, hopefully. Um, yeah, I love doing the analysis videos, but the problem is there's only so many players, so I don't want to do, you know, loads of videos because otherwise I'll run out of players to analyse. So, but no, Neil Robertson's next, and I just did Steve Davis, which was honestly, if you guys like toxic comment sections, go on the Steve Davis video because it's so
It's a
funny.
it's a popcorn gif, right?
Yeah, yeah. I love Steve Davis, and I love Steve Davis, and I rated him very highly, as you'd expect. But there were one or two comments that I made, especially around potentially break building. But some people, I think they see things in black and white. If a 1980s player wasn't good at break building, oh, it's the tables, it's the balls, it's only the tables and the balls. Well, well, Steve Davis himself has said that he wasn't as good as Hendry at break building. No, it's the balls. Okay.
This is the joy
Yep.
of snooker. This is the
Yep.
joy of sport.
Yeah,
Nobody is perfect.
no,
There is no correct answer here,
no,
really.
no. It's all opinions. It's all opinions.
Yeah, absolutely. And
Yeah.
there's there was that Michael Douglas movie from the early 90s, Falling Down, and he, on his path of, well, destruction through Los Angeles, he comes across that, well, not very nice man who owns the store. But something Michael Douglas says to him, he says, "We have the right to disagree."
Yes.
I thought, wow, how relevant is that in today's world? Even something like, it's just, yeah, it's a video about Steve Davis, and
Yeah.
it's not the end of the
Yeah.
world.
Yeah.
But if we can't even agree on that, we don't have to agree.
No.
I think this, you may think that. We could both be wrong. We could both. It's
Yeah.
yeah.
I think the good thing about the channel though is that the whole point of me making the channel was the fact that I want people to debate about snooker. That's the great part of it. But I think with me, I'm quite a. I don't really most things in snooker. I'm not very traditional about it. I'm quite progressive, and I like not being controversial, not at all. But I like challenging things that have been said for years. People that say, "Oh, Steve Davis has got the best temperament in history." Well, why didn't he win more in the '90s then? That's the way I look at it, and that's not a criticism of Steve, but that's something that I think when I'm analysing players. And yeah, so I maybe when there are a few people that might be commenting that are a little bit older and have certain views, I challenge those views, and that creates, emotion in people, which is great, because if it didn't, I wouldn't do it. I wouldn't get any comments and I wouldn't get any views. So that's the whole point of it, and it doesn't mean that I'm right. I never said I'm right. I'm not an expert. I try to be, but yeah, I mean, as long as the comments are constructive and everything, and there's no kind of toxicity, then yeah, great. I love it. I love it.
Absolutely is, and I think in a world that's so divided in so many ways and for so many reasons, to have moments like Jack Lisowski, will Yize are winning, like
Yeah,
this will unite people. But even if people were slightly in disagreement on these matters, it's fine.
fine.
It's fine. That's
I'm a
encouraging
fan.
discussion, encouraging debate, opinions that don't agree with. That's not really a problem. And one of the emails that I received actually just this morning disagrees with something I say, and of course I'll read it out. I get emails from time to time where it's just straight up rudeness and abuse.
Bin,
I don't read those out. Not worth it.
bin.
But
Yeah,
yeah. It's just, if
yeah.
you can't speak, we can't speak to each other in a civil manner, even through email. Then yeah. But no, I've got an email this morning and say it disagrees with me, but it's very well put. It makes some great points, and I'd be interested to hear your opinions on this as well.
Right.
Speaking of interaction, so you said that Neil Robson is your next video.
It is.
And
Yeah.
how did that come about?
So I usually will do videos that I want to do based on what I feel that week, or for example, I did my Jack Lisowski video off the back of him winning the Northern Ireland Open, because I thought I was going to make a video a few weeks before, and then maybe would have said, oh, why hasn't he won a ranking event? Which would have been a little bit annoying if he'd have won a ranking event 2 weeks later. So I'm glad I put, I didn't. But most of the time it's me. But what I have started doing now, as I've grown a bigger community and I'm trying to get 2,000 subscribers, which would be a great milestone, is allowing a community to vote on certain things. So for example, if I have a few players I want to do, I'll put it out to the community. Vote on which player you want, and I'll do it. I did it with Steve Davis, and I've done it recently, and Neil Robertson won the recent one. And also, not just the analysis videos, but I've got a series called Table Talk, which I'm going to be doing more and more now. I'm looking to get a camera to make the quality of the videos higher. I've done 2 episodes. The first episode was about the misrule, which was, again, look at that comment section. You'll have a great laugh. And then the second one I did was the ranking system, which was a little bit less controversial in the comments. That was, I think everyone kind of thought that maybe the ranking system is a bit flawed now, just because of the fact that the Saudi Masters is the same as the World Championship on the rankings. I think that could be changed a little bit. But with Table Talk, that is all community based. So literally, whatever you want me to discuss, if you Stan, you wanted me to discuss something and you comment on my videos, I'll put that in the community post. And if it wins the poll, I'll make the video on it. And the next one, which is coming up in the next few weeks, will be about whether the Crucible should stay the host venue of the World Championships, which I'm sure is going to be amazing. Because I'm not going to go into it too much, but I'll actually be very sad if it does move. But I've got to play devil's advocate for the video, so I have to, I've got to be impartial. So
Absolutely,
you know,
have to look at opinions that maybe you're not comfortable with, and
yeah, it's going to be a great video. It's going to be a great video, and but yeah, it's great because I like the series table talk that I'm doing because it's driven by the fans and the community. So I always know that the video is going to get people talking about it because they want it to be, I think the table talk episode that I'm doing about the Crucible has got like 400 votes, which is fantastic for a small channel. So yeah, it's going to be great. I'm looking forward to doing it. It's going to be brilliant.
People getting involved, but that's it. It's just that extra little bit of engagement.
Yes,
that's all. Every outlet, snooker does their bit.
I'm going to make videos that get engagement like that. I'm not going to make a video that says, "Oh, is Ronnie O'Sullivan a good break builder?" It's going to get 2 views because
he is.
Exactly.
There you go. Yes.
There's no reason for me to continue. Is Stephen Hendry one of the greatest of all time? Yes. You can't. So if you maybe lead a video with maybe saying, "Is Stephen Hendry as good as people think he is?" People are going to go, "Yes, he is," and that's how you create the engagement. Doesn't mean that you have to slander anyone. You say your real opinions, but you've got to drive up engagement. That's the whole point.
So yeah, no, it just gets people thinking in a different way. And the example I always come to, or the example that always comes to mind anyway, is Ricky Gervais on religion.
Yes,
he is not a religious man.
Yeah,
if you want to believe in religion, that's fine. If you don't, that's fine. But this idea that if you don't, then you're evil. Well, no, sometimes it's important to hear the other side.
Exactly.
Well, maybe this person doesn't think Steve Davis is the greatest of all time. Maybe they think he would really struggle in today's game. Well, you never know. Let's just hear each other out. And that idea of engagement and just discussion, it just gets people talking about snooker. And if people are talking about snooker,
that's the whole point.
They're more likely to watch it.
Exactly.
And that's good for the sport.
Exactly. That's the whole point of the channel, just to discuss. That's it.
This week in Leicester, it starts today. Champion of Champions.
One of my favourite tournaments. Honestly, I love it. It's just so funny. Because it's not funny, but like I love the fact that they just like, throw in the World Seniors champion against the reigning champion. Let's do it. Let's see if he wins. And I think, Alfie, you've got Mark Williams in the first round. But yeah, I love it. I think it's great, and it's just a tournament where you could get Judd Trump playing Ronnie O'Sullivan in the first. I know Ronnie's not there this year, but you could get Judd Trump playing Ronnie in the first round, or Judd Trump playing John Higgins in the first round. I think I'm just looking at it now. We've got Kyron Wilson playing Jack Lisowski and Mark Allen playing Zhao Xintong in the first round. I mean, that's just brilliant, isn't it? That's brilliant.
That's fun. Yeah, like that's a lineup. That is a blockbuster lineup. That's a marquee card.
Yeah, and I love it. Listen, don't get me wrong. I love all the events. They've all got their places, but I do love the Champion of Champions and the Masters, and when it's the top players playing each other, I love that. I'm a bit of a snooker snob, I have to say. I do like the top players playing each other, but maybe that'll be controversial. I don't know.
Well, everything's controversial.
Yeah.
I'm not. The idea of the Champion of Champions is a great idea. People have said, maybe it should be the end of the season after the World Championship. I disagree with that. I think the World Championship should be the end of the season.
Yeah, agreed.
Others have said that it should be a way to kick off the season, all of the champions from last season. But then again, it's TV, it's sponsorship, it's when you can host the event. It just happens to work out. It's Alan McManus calls it the winter swing, if I'm not mistaken.
Yeah.
It kicks off this part of the year.
I completely agree with you, or with the people that say it would be ideal to start the season, because then obviously you wouldn't get cut-offs like Yize should be in the Champion of Champions in my idea. He's just won a tournament on Sunday. He should be in the tournament this week. But obviously the cut-off was before that. So I imagine he will be in next year's event, I would imagine.
You'd hope so.
You'd hope so. So it would cut that off, wouldn't it? Because if it was the start of the season, there wouldn't be any events before it. So, you'd have that. But I do understand from, WST's point of view, they want sponsorship, and it's not easy to run snooker. So I have to be a little bit understanding. They need to put it in the part of the year where they can get a venue, where they can get the sponsor, where ITV want it, for example. So I do understand that. But ideally, it would be great if it kicked off the season, because then you'd have it'd be, but whatever. We could discuss loads of things about it.
The big problem I have with this tournament is, let's be honest, it's a straight knockout 16, round of 16, quarterfinals, semi-final. This whole group idea is just, it's completely pointless. It's bogus. It adds nothing. It just confuses people.
What?
I don't know why they do.
I was a question for you. Why do they do that? Because that's like being in the Masters and doing Group 1. It's the same. Yeah. It's the same.
It's the same bracket. Yeah. You're just branding it in a different way. I don't get it. I think it's completely pointless. Yeah. I just think it confuses people. Yeah. It's like, wait, but if he1 group, can they wait? But Baize is in this. No, it's just this person. Whoever wins goes through.
Because I think Judd plays Baize today, and then later on they play. Sean Murphy plays Lee Pai Fan, I believe, today. Isn't it then?
Not sure.
Isn't it then the group winner plays today as well?
Yes, that's right. Yeah.
Right, so that might be the way why they're doing it. But I mean, even so, just play the game.
just play the matches and
play the match.
Find out who wins. Yeah. It's. But that's my only gripe with the tournament. I think the concept of it is fantastic. I know it's not. Well, obviously, it's not a WST event, so you can have Baize, the women's world champion. You can have Alfie Burden, the seniors champion, in there, and that's good. It exposes maybe not the best word. But I can't use the word showcase, because showcase is used exclusively for the mixed doubles challenge. Right. And that was a showcase for the women's team. It's the only time you would ever hear the word showcase in snooker. No, it gives us a chance to see other players that we might not normally see, and of course, it gives us a chance to see these blockbuster matches. Zhao Guodong, John Higgins is one I'm looking forward to. I made a point during the World Championship. It was John Higgins won 13-11, and then he went on to have the epic with Mark Williams.
Yeah.
I made the point that if you take away, this is going to sound really stupid, but in a way I do stand by it. If you take away the characters of John Higgins and Mark Williams and you put two faceless avatars having that match, it would be a good match, of course. But I honestly thought the Zhao Guodong John Higgins match was a better spectacle. And I said it to it was Neil Folds, and he disagreed with me. He said, no, the John Higgins match with Mark Williams was better. And then I realised afterwards, I think, okay, well, but if you take away the characters and you take away the drama and the close finish, I say, if you take away all the things that make it a good match, then suddenly it's not a good match. And when I say that to myself, maybe that's a bit of a stupid opinion. But
I get your point.
I just thought the Zhao Guodong John Higgins match was excellent. For me, it was the match of the tournament. And now we're going to get to see it again. Slightly shorter format. But
the actual snooker itself rather than the event of it. Yeah,
I thought it was great,
Yeah, no, I agree with that. I understand what you mean. I agree with Neil as well, though, because when you've got the two of the best all time, that's part of what makes
it good, isn't it?
Yeah. Yeah. No, I agree. I see both sides of that, which is, I don't like to be a fence sitter, but I see both sides of that. Yeah.
But it's that idea. I realised afterwards, take away all the factors that made it good, and suddenly it's not good anymore. Yeah, it's true. Of course not. It's But then
I like Zhao Guodong. I really do.
Yeah, classy operator, isn't he?
I like him a lot.
He behaves like a gentleman. He dresses like a gentleman. For the image of snooker, he's good.
Yes, I like
Joe O'Connor.
The match he played against Ronnie last year in the Champions. Because Ronnie was hitting the ball really, really well, I thought. and I thought there's no way he's going to lose. I thought he'd win the tournament, and Zhao Guodong beat him. I think Zhao Guodong was 3-0 down against Ronnie O'Sullivan. Correct me if I'm wrong. I think he was, and he come back to win 4-3.
I think you're right.
Yeah, and I was like, wow, because Ronnie was playing well. And over a best of 7, 3-0 down against Ronnie, the odds would have been crazy. But yeah, and after that, I was like, wow, this guy's really good. So yeah, I like Zhao Guodong a lot. I think I think a lot of the younger Chinese players sometimes get criticised for not having a safety game. He does. He really does. So, you could be looking at another multiple world ranking event winner there.
Well, he obviously he's a little bit older than some of the younger lads. So he's into his 30s now. But so the experience he has to make a difference there.
Yeah, I mean, he's already a multiple world ranking event winner. He's got 2, but you know what I mean. I think he could win 5 or 6, or I think he definitely could do that. He's a little bit older, and maybe with experience, the likes of Si Jiahui and Zhao Xintong might get better in that area. I know Xintong is a decent safety player. He's world champion, but you get my point. I think Zhao Guodong is probably the best out of those Chinese players for safety game. Correct me if I'm wrong. I think he probably is. I think he is, and that's the reason why he can give John Higgins a good game over 3 sessions at the Crucible. You can't do that if you haven't got a good safety game.
That is true, and Mark Williams, one of the best safety players in snooker.
Exactly,
was able to stand up to John Higgins, and I suppose the only difference I would say with Yize, I think he could improve his safety game, but when you can pot like that, then maybe it makes up for it a little bit.
Same as Zhao Xintong. Although I think, I might make a controversial statement on him, but I thought he would have done more this season already. I thought he would have been better, but let's see.
I agree. I picked him in my Fantasy 5.
Oh dear.
Yeah.
Oh dear. I made a video on him as well, Zhao Xintong, and I enjoyed that one because, I actually made a video at the start of the season, which was my predictions for the year, and I predicted Yize would win something. I predicted Joe O'Connor would win something. I made a controversial statement at the time, and I said that I don't think Zhao Xintong is as good as people say he is. And that is so controversial, I get it. But I was, before I made the channel, I made the channel around the World Championship. And I was going through Reddit and going through YouTube and going through snooker communities. And the sentiment was that this guy was amazingly good, and he was great in the World Championship. To qualify and win it and play all those matches, I'm not taking anything away from him. I thought he was brilliant. But then I heard things like Mark Williams saying he's the best potter he's ever seen. And I saw people on Reddit say he's going to dominate for the next 10 years. And I thought, I don't quite believe that. And I think it's easy when you lose to someone over 4 sessions at the World Championship to say, X player is the best at this. They say that every year. So for me, it's, if he's as good as people say he is, which he probably could be, we'll see it in the next year or so. We will see it. And I thought he's going to win this tournament when he got to the semi-finals, I believe. I thought, he's going to win this now. But he lost to Yize, so we'll see. Maybe I'm being a bit controversial and we're going to get about 100 emails next week. But
well, the idea that he's not as good as maybe people think he is. Obviously, he's world champion. He's an excellent player.
Of course.
But I was in the Crucible. I watched all 3 sessions. Ronnie didn't even make it to the 4th session. I think Ronnie gave up at the end, actually. You could see
it was 4-4, wasn't it? It was 4-4 and he was in it, and then he was not in it. I was like, whoa.
He just flew away.
Yeah.
17-7 in the end.
Yeah.
And you could see that Ronnie didn't want to make it 16-8. Otherwise, he'd have to wait and come back the next day for another session. He's like, I'm not going to win this. What's the point?
I don't.
And I'm not saying Ronnie threw it.
I actually don't. But, and I'm not saying he threw it either, but I don't blame him.
No, he wasn't going to win that match.
No.
And I think maybe as a human, you just lose that focus. You switch off, and even Ronnie O'Sullivan.
Yeah, you unconsciously give up, don't you?
Yeah, he's. We're all flawed beings, and that was for me. That was the reality there. Some of the shots Zhao Xintong played in that match were unbelievable. I think he was given opportunities by Ronnie's sometimes sloppy safety play, but I suppose the cliche is you can only beat only beat the opponent that's in front of you. And
I was amazed that he even got that far, Ronnie, because I agreed with him. He was rubbish the whole tournament, so I don't know how he got there. So you can only beat what's in front of you. But you're right; some of the shots,
yeah, I've got. I'm going to say I'm never sad to see Ronnie O'Sullivan lose because I don't like the reliance we have on him.
Right. Okay.
Snooker. I think Snooker will be just fine without him. And if we're getting new younger lads coming through and ladies,
Yep.
if we're getting new players coming through, that's good for the sport. And if they have to take Ronnie O'Sullivan's place, so be it. He is not bigger than the sport. Some people will say he is. I disagree entirely. Snooker will be just fine when he goes. He's a part-time player now.
Oh yeah.
And Snooker's just fine.
Yeah,
we're fine. Okay.
Yeah. Yeah. Agreed.
And I suppose this tournament will be another test. He's not in it. I think it will get a lot of viewers. It's going to have some great snooker on display.
100%.
I think we'll be fine. Do you know what? I'm going to say it to troll myself. Who are going to win? Which players are going to win the 4 groups and make up the semi-final lineup?
The groups. Oh, this is a problem. I've got to look at groups now. Oh, okay. Right. Group 1 is Mark Williams, Alfie Burden, Mark Selby, and Stephen Maguire. Am I right?
You are correct, yes.
I think that Mark Selby will win that group.
Okay, I also have Mark Selby. Yep.
Yeah, although Stephen Maguire's having a really good season, quietly. He won the Championship League. He got to the semis, I think, last week. So it could be a tough match for Mark Selby, but I'm going to go with Mark Selby.
I think Mark Selby will make it to the semis.
Group 2 is Sean Murphy, Lee Pai Fan, Judd Trump, and Bai Yu Lu. I'm going to be really boring. I'm going to go Judd Trump. I think Judd is due a title. So I'm going to go with Judd for Group 2.
Okay. I've gone for Sean Murphy.
Oof. That's going to be a good game, though, isn't it?
It will be fantastic.
If they win their respective games.
If they win their group semi-finals, of course. Yeah. No, I think those two will be the favourites to win those matches with all due respect.
Yeah, of course.
And I think that could be blockbuster match of the entire event. Sean Murphy, Judd Trump.
Yeah.
In the flow, they're fantastic.
Yeah, I agree. I'm going to go Judd, but if Sean Murphy wins, I won't be surprised. Oh yeah, Group 3 is your favourite, isn't it?
Yes, I like Group 3.
Kyron
Wilson, Jack Lisowski,
Alan and Zhao Xintong.
I know what I've got.
My heart says Jack Lisowski. My head says Mark Allen.
My head also says Mark Allen.
Yeah,
I think he's
mystical.
He has it,
isn't he?
He is. He has that. And I've said it about a number of players, and I mean it entirely as a compliment. He's got that nasty streak. He has that ruthless, streak in him that you need to win tournaments like this. And he will not play in fear. He will not be, overwhelmed by the occasion.
Yeah.
He can do it.
Last frame deciders in both matches, probably.
Well, yeah, it's the way he goes. Yeah, it's the way he goes.
Yeah. And then final group, Neil Robertson, Tom Ford, John Higgins, Zhao Guidong. I hope Tom Ford's recovered because I went to the English Open in Brentwood and I watched Tom Ford against Barry Hawkins. And at 1-0, I knew Tom Ford was going to lose 4-0 because every time he got to the table, he was doing this, and I'm not a betting man. But if I had a bet on 4-0, I think I would have won a lot of money because he won 4-0. But I hope he's better because I'd like to see Tom Ford play his top game because I like Tom Ford. But if I was going to say a group winner, Neil Robertson.
I also have Neil Robertson.
Oh, so boring. I think John Higgins is still going to be in China and jet lagged and would lose his match.
Yeah, it's exactly. Yeah, that's got to be a big factor.
Yeah.
It's only a couple of days. I've just come back from a 6-hour time difference, and it's been 3 days now, and I'm still not sleeping right. And what's the difference from Nanjing to Leicester? Got to be 8 hours, I'm sure. We'll
He's
say 7 or 8 hours.
and then also he played the whole week as well, didn't he? And he's 50 years old.
He's 50 years old. You know, he's not 22. It's
he's going to go win a tournament now, isn't he? You know what I mean?
Make us all look stupid.
Yeah, I think Neil Robertson. I think that will be what a semi-final lineup that will be. By the way,
Mark Selby, Neil Robertson, Mark Allen versus
Judd or Sean Murphy.
Judd Trump or Sean Murphy. Yeah,
I mean,
one way or the other. That's
it's going to be good.
That's blockbuster. That is.
Yeah, I'm happy with that.
Blockbuster.
I'm happy with that.
Yeah, I take it. I think it's going to be a fantastic tournament. I think we've got a really, really good week of snooker to look forward to.
Yeah,
and people seem to like playing in Leicester. It seems to get good reviews from fans and from players.
Yeah, so. I went there for the Grand Prix final, World Grand Prix final, Judge Ronnie O'Sullivan, like I said earlier, and it's a good venue. It's all right. I mean, I wouldn't say it's Jally Pally, but it's better than Brentwood. That's my opinion on it, anyway. Yeah, I like. It was the Morningside Arena when I went. Now it's the Mattioli Arena, I think.
The Mattioli, yeah.
Mattioli, yeah. Yeah, good venue. I think it's a good venue inside. I think they play basketball in there as well. So
they do.
Yeah. It's a good venue. Yeah, it's okay. And I like ITV's coverage actually. Obviously, I'm from the UK. I know some of your fans will probably not be from the UK, so they won't be watching on ITV. But for the UK listeners, I like the ITV coverage actually. The only thing is the repetitive adverts, but that's part of watching.
Just mute them.
Sport, isn't it? But yeah, I'm looking forward to it. Really looking forward to it.
We have got, speaking of players who will be involved in this tournament, got a little bit of correspondence. 2 emails, if you wouldn't mind helping me out with them. The first one actually came in just this morning, and it is about a comment. Well, I shouldn't say a comment. It's not even a mini rant. It's a rant, a full rant that I let out about Anthony McGill a few episodes ago. And speaking of politely disagreeing, this is from Hugh Grant, and I've got to say, he's made some excellent points. He's put them together really well. You know, this is.
Is that the real Hugh Grant?
I don't know. He says no.
All right, okay.
He says no.
That's what he wants you to think.
That's what he wants us to think. Yeah. Let me find the email and I'll read it out because you know what, he's made some good points and made them in a very respectful way. You know, we can have a polite disagreement.
Yeah.
But I think he's made some good points that have made me, well, just think twice. And that's the point of debate.
Yes.
So I'll just read this out. Hi, Dan. I hope you're doing well. As a regular listener and an occasional correspondent to your podcast, I was very surprised to hear the strident views you expressed on Anthony McGill during episode 67. Before providing my perspectives on that, I would acknowledge that one of the things I admire about you is that you don't shy away from expressing your views of the character flaws of players, and in that regard, I strongly agree with the views you have previously expressed on players such as Ronnie O'Sullivan and Ali Carter. I will also admit up front that I am a fellow Scot and a strong fan and admirer of Anthony McGill, so I acknowledge that there is likely to be a touch of unconscious bias in my views. Having said that, I would like to provide an alternative view to the view that you presented on Anthony McGill. Your views on Anthony appear to have been predominantly based on the incident during his second round match with Jamie Clark during the 2020 World Championship. In my view, the issues surrounding that incident were much more nuanced than the one-sided perspective that you presented in your podcast. For example, you suggested that the incident would have been avoided if Anthony had simply adopted the approach recently demonstrated by Michael Holt, i.e. politely asking his opponent to refrain from moving when in his eye line. Well, from what I've heard from various independent commentators, apparently Anthony did exactly that on a couple of occasions before the eventual flare-up ensued. However, unlike Michael Holt's opponent, Jamie Clark continued to distract Anthony. I therefore humbly suggest that it was Jamie's repeated offences that eventually triggered Anthony to escalate the issue, rather than Anthony being aggressive from the outset as you suggested. I think it is also important to highlight that Anthony was not alone in raising concerns regarding Jamie's behaviour and poor table etiquette. Earlier in the same tournament, Gentleman Joe Perry, got extremely angry and made a similar complaint about Jamie's repeated distracting behaviour. Clearly, Jamie had a track record of poor table etiquette, even if it was unintentional, and McGill's frustration didn't arise in a vacuum. Also, Jamie's provocative tweet between frames, "You want to dance, let's dance," was clearly unprofessional and was described by various respected commentators as needlessly provocative and very childish. Based on my research on the issue, I believe that most independent observers felt that more fault lay with Clark than McGill. Anyway, I suggest that the best judges of Anthony's professionalism and sportsmanship are other professional snooker players. In that regard, I suggest you will struggle to find a single professional snooker player, past or present, who shares your views on Anthony's sportsmanship. Instead, I suggest that you will find nothing but repeated glowing praise from players who I know you respect, including Mark Selby, Sean Murphy, John Higgins, Stephen Hendry, Judd Trump, Neil Robertson, Alan McManus, and many others who consistently praise Anthony's professionalism, calm temperament, conduct, and sportsmanship. I suggest that those perspectives from some of the world's best ever snooker players provide a much fuller picture of Anthony's character and sportsmanship than the negative perspective that you presented in your podcast. And don't just take it from those in the know. Have a look at the responses to your tweet on this on X. 3 out of the 4 responses you received challenged your view and sided with Anthony. And last but not least, I suggest that you re-listen to how Rob Francis responded to your comments. I think it's clear that Rob did not agree with you, and I was impressed with how he diplomatically responded by outlining how highly regarded Anthony is by his fellow professionals for his professionalism and sportsmanship. Anyway, Dan, it's obviously up to you whether you read this email out at one of your future podcasts. I really hope you do, as I feel that somebody had to provide a right of reply on behalf of Anthony. Irrespective, I will continue to listen and enjoy your podcast. Thank you for everything you do for the snooker community, and I hope we can catch up at a future tournament in the near future where we can perhaps debate the above and other topical snooker issues over a couple of beers. Regards. Well, I've got to say, it's one of the best emails I've received in a long time because, yeah, polite disagreement. He's given me a lot of good points there, which some of them I didn't consider. Some of them I didn't know about. Some of them I intentionally ignored. I'll be honest.
Fair enough.
But
what was your
that's
original comments on the situation, or Anthony McGill in general? Were you referring to that situation directly, or were you just talking about Anthony McGill in general?
It was. Well, Hugh says that my opinion is predominantly based on that Jamie Clark incident, and I would say it's actually worse than that. It's more or less entirely based on that Jamie Clark incident.
Right.
I thought my comments were that Anthony was being outplayed. I think he was 8-2 down, and he knew he wasn't going to win, so he had to find a way to win, and he had to unsettle his opponent. He couldn't do it on the baize, so he had to do it off the baize. And I think it was a mid-session interval, or maybe it was just after a frame. Jamie Clark leaves the arena, and you can literally see Anthony McGill running after him out of the arena. And even when they come back into the crucible, into the arena, he's still animated. He's still, making accusations. And Jan Verhaas is there. Okay, well, look, I'll deal with it. But no, just let Jan Verhaas deal with it. My comments were that Anthony was trying to bully a younger opponent, a more inexperienced opponent. And had that been, I think the examples I used were Ryan Day or Mark Williams, Anthony McGill would not have done that. But having said that, and having read Hugh's email, I've got to look at the other side of that as well. Just as you said, you've got to look at the other side.
Yeah.
Would Anthony McGill have confronted a more senior pro? And I use Ryan Day because I think if there were a boxing tournament, I think Ryan Day would win it.
Yeah.
Just saying. But even a more senior pro, Neil Robertson, Mark Williams, anyone, I don't think he would have. But would Jamie Clark have behaved in a similar way if he were playing against someone other than Anthony McGill? We'll never know. Maybe, maybe not.
I remember that tournament because I remember that there were comments at the time that he'd done it against Joe Perry, and that he'd done it, and he'd had this kind of repeated offending in the qualifiers as well. Now I can't quote that, I can't find you the source, but I did around that time actually side with Anthony McGill because I thought that if it's happened before, then it's obviously it could no smoke without fire.
There's a common denominator there, yeah.
Yeah, no smoke without fire. But I didn't really take into consideration what you're saying. That I do remember that he was making a big deal out of it. He chased after him, and it was like during the mid-session he was talking to Jan, and Jan was like, "Let me do it, don't stand in his eye line." So would have Anthony McGill done that if Ryan Day? Well, I don't think. I think Ryan Day or Mark Williams wouldn't do that.
Yes, exactly.
So
that might be the difference. It wouldn't be an issue.
and this is nothing against Jamie Clark, because I've got nothing against Jamie Clark at all, but maybe a bit of inexperience at the Crucible. It's tight, you know. Anthony McGill's played there loads. It's tight, you know. When you're playing in a big arena, you just sit in your chair, don't you? But you see the Crucible. You see a lot of the times the player will stand by the divide, by the entrance. Where the players come down the steps.
Yeah,
You
almost
see
in the shadows.
You see that quite a lot, and maybe Jamie was trying to do that, but then, I don't know. I see both sides, but a very well written email, actually.
Yeah, exactly. There's some really good points in there. Okay, we disagree, but he's given me. I completely forgot about the Joe Perry factor.
I'd heard about that.
I'd completely forgotten about it, but I do remember that. Yeah.
Yeah, I remember it being spoken about. I think Colin Murray on Eurosport at the time had raised that point, but it's quite a long time ago now, so I had forgotten about it.
I love a niche reference, especially a pop culture reference. And I thought of when I read the email, just when I woke up this morning, I was checking my emails and there it was. And immediately I thought, okay, would Anthony McGill have reacted the same way against someone else? Maybe. We'll never know, of course. But then I thought, would Jamie Clark have done that against, let's say, Neil Robertson, Ryan Day, Mark Williams? And this is a random one. There's a Robert De Niro movie from the early 90s called A Bronx Tale. And kid witnesses a crime. Robert De Niro is the father.
Right.
And the kid doesn't really understand why this fatal incident has happened. But De Niro tries to, not brush over it, but he tries to make it kid-friendly. He says, they just met at the wrong time in their lives.
Right, okay, yeah.
And I think maybe it was just the combination of those two players together. It was just
COVID.
It was during COVID times where everything, tensions were a little bit higher. The fact that there's very few people in the arena.
Yeah, I mean,
maybe that contributed to the tension. It could just be, it just happened.
I think it was that as well, because I remember the semi-final between Ronnie and Mark Selby, and I obviously, as a snooker player, I love Ronnie, but I do think sometimes he can be a little bit annoying in it, But I remember Mark Selby making some comments after that, and I thought was a little bit unfair. He obviously said, I think if you remember, he was saying that Ronnie was disrespectful because he wasn't playing out the snookers and stuff like that. And then he also said that when Mark had missed the ball, Ronnie was standing up in his chair, straddling both seats. Now, maybe that happened, but was it magnified by the fact there were no fans in there and it was just two people and a referee? And, there wasn't the atmosphere. There was COVID was happening. It was on lockdown. We were all, at home. Maybe there was just more tension in that tournament because, I remember that tournament being that stuff happening with Jamie Clark and McGill, that stuff with Selby and Ronnie, and I just think maybe everyone was just in a bad mood.
I mean, I wouldn't be surprised, given the tension during the Crucible anyway.
Yeah.
With those circumstances looming over the whole tournament anyway, it's not played at the right time of year.
It was in August.
I wouldn't be surprised at all. And another good point that Hugh makes there is the tweet from Jamie Clark. If you want to dance, let's dance. Yes, it is childish. It's needless. You don't need to do that. Do your talking on the table. And in hindsight, given that he lost the match, he looks pretty foolish. If you're going to tweet that, you need to win. You need to back it up.
Maybe 6 of one, half a dozen of the other then, we're saying? Maybe 50-50?
Well, yeah, I think, Jamie Clark, okay, he distracted Anthony McGill. Whether it was intentional or not, only he will ever know. But, yeah, Jamie Clark could have behaved, but I also still think that Anthony could have behaved in a better way. And Jan Haas, pretty sure it was Jan Haas.
It was
saying, just let me deal with it.
It was
okay, this is Jan Haas, one of the most respected men in snooker. Just let him deal with it. No one's going to mess with Jan Haas. And that, if anyone has a voice of authority, it's him. But I can see there are some points that I missed there. And yeah, I've learned something new. I completely forgot about the Joe Perry factor. I did brush over the immaturity of Jamie Clark's social media tweet.
Mm-hmm.
It's no, it's an interesting point. And Hugh is right. You can tell that Rob was surprised by my words,
All
and
right.
yeah, it's not that I'm. Well, I am petty and argumentative, of course I am, and I'm very cynical. But no, it's not that I take pleasure in people losing unless they, unless they're horrible people. But yeah. But no, it's given me something to think about. That's a good thing.
Well, it wasn't quite
That's a
Quinton
good thing.
Han against Andy Hicks, was it? It wasn't quite that bad.
No, that's true. Yeah. Quentin Han. He's come up a lot on snooker Twitter, actually.
Oh, mate. Do you know, Quinton Han. I've got to make a video about him. That would be a good
I
video.
mean, he won't be short of material.
No.
One more email. It is from Sean. Hello, Dan. What a beautiful moment in Belfast. Jack Lisowski showed us all what sport should be about: human stories, overcoming struggles to achieve greatness, and technical excellence. A lot of snooker voices say that this moment unites everyone in the sport, and I couldn't agree more. I hate to turn on the sprinklers, but I have to throw a bit of negativity in here. Jack has got off the mark, but I can't see him replicating this anytime soon. He's a great player, but I think he lacks too many key attributes to be a regular winner. I would love to be wrong, because Jack Lisowski is the kind of player and person we need in snooker. However, I think it is likely to be a one-off success. Thanks for your work on the podcast. I'll be in touch again soon. Sean, what are your thoughts?
I think Sean makes some good points, very good points. And I think obviously you look at Jack Lisowski and you ask the question, why has he only won one major ranking event at the age he is? And that is because of the attributes that he lacks in safety play, which I discussed earlier, temperament, which could be better. But to say that he would never win another event and it could be a one-off, I would stop short of agreeing with that. I think because he's won one now, I'm not going to say he's going to win 20, but I think when he gets into that position again, which he will get to a semi-final and a final again. He'll go, I can win this. The belief is there that I can win this. So will he go on and win, 20? No, completely. He isn't as good as that all round as a player. Do I think he'll be a one-hit wonder? I'm going to stick my neck out and say no. I think he will win at least 3 in total. I think he'll win home nations events. I think are the kind of events that he'll win, where with a home nations event, you might get 3 or 4 top players dropping out. Ronnie never really plays in them. Judd Trump might drop out here and there. Selby, Williams, some of these players sometimes don't travel. They might have played in China and they don't want to go to Belfast or Brentwood. And if he turns up, has a good week, the draw opens up, I think he will be good enough, especially if he plays in a final. He's beaten Judd Trump in a final, the world number 1. So if he gets to a final and he plays the world number 20, for example, he'll believe I can win this. So that is my opinion on it. But if he didn't win another one, I wouldn't be shocked. Does that make sense?
Yeah. So
Yeah.
you wouldn't bet your life that
I
he
wouldn't
would
put my
win
life
another
on it,
tournament.
but I
No.
would say that he will.
Yeah.
But yeah, I hope that he can work with someone. That would be my if I was in his corner, I would be getting him to work with someone.
So you did a video on Jack Lisowski, which we discussed earlier, and I think there is one factor that I've brought up a few times on this podcast, and I think it's a big one. And I suppose out of the 5 categories of attribute that you talk about, I suppose it would come under temperament, I guess, and that is the fact. And I'll give you the 2 examples that I have referred to. The first one he was playing Mark Allen. I think it was at the Players' Championship or the Grand Prix, maybe. And the referee gives Jack a free ball, but Mark Allen argues with it, with the decision. And I'm going to say, from the looks of it, it seems that Mark Allen is wrong. It's a tight one, but Jack should have a free ball. But Mark has that ruthless streak. He has that competitive edge.
Yeah,
and he argues with the ref, and Jack backs down. He says, well, look, okay, if it's going to be a problem, then I won't take the free ball. It's like, well, no. And then Jack loses in the deciding frame.
Yeah.
Had he stood his ground a bit, and he was right, and that's the worst part, he was right, and the referee made the decision in Jack's favour, but Mark had the guts to argue with the ref. I don't think Jack would have done that. And perhaps, I don't know if it's a worse example. In many ways it is. He was playing Gary Wilson. One of the tournaments Gary Wilson won. I think it was the Welsh Open that Gary Wilson won. And they're in a safety battle. I think it was in a final frame decider. Jack's behind the green. And he's trying to hit the yellow, I think. Anyway, Gary Wilson suggests that Jack has brushed the green with his cue on the way through. And Gary has no right to make that call. The referee, and he didn't, by the way, but Gary has no right to make that call. Gary's asking people in the audience, did you see that? I said, well, no, Gary, just let the referee make the decision.
Yeah.
But you can hear Jack say something along the lines of, well, look, it's only, if it's easier, then just let him have the 4 points. I was like, no, this is a final frame decider, and it's come down to the colours. These 4 points are crucial.
Yeah.
You cannot afford to give away 4 points. It could be the difference between Gary not having to pot a tricky black, which was along the rail, along the cushion. And it could be the difference between you having to pot that ball. But yet you're willing to just give up these 4 points when you are right. You have done nothing wrong. But he didn't want to argue. He didn't want to be the difficult one. It's like, well, no, but that's why Gary Wilson won the deciding frame, goes on to lift the trophy. And I thought that, I guess temperament is the only thing it would come under in your videos.
That would be temperament, yeah.
It's just stand up for yourself. He let these opponents walk all over him and argue with decisions, which should have been in Jack's favour, and he lost both times.
So here's a question for you, then. Do you think that Mark Allen and Gary Wilson, being the wily characters that they are, did that on purpose? Not saying they were cheating or anything like that.
Yeah, I know what you mean.
I'm not saying they were cheating or any gamesmanship there or anything like that. I'm not trying to say that they were doing anything wrong. But do you think that they were pushing the envelope a little bit more because it was Jack Lisowski and they know that he...
I think so, yeah. Touch? I think they could get away with it. And the referees...
Mark
also
and Gary
maybe not as experienced.
Mark and Gary may have thought in that position that they were right. But maybe if they were playing Neil Robertson or playing Ronnie O'Sullivan or playing Judd Trump, they wouldn't have said anything. You know.
I think that is a factor.
Yeah, so I think maybe.
I think in competitive sport, you look for any edge you can find. Marginal gains make the difference, and if you can get an extra 4 points, it may well be Gary Wilson may have believed. Oh, I think Jack crushed the green there.
Yeah,
I want to make sure that if I'm owed 4 points, I get my 4 points.
Yeah,
because Gary Wilson knew how important those 4 points could be. But Jack was just willing to let it go and said, yeah, okay, if you want the 4 points, just let him have it. So, no, this is a competitive sport. You've got to fight for every point.
Yeah, do you know if Jack has worked with anyone? Has he worked, if I'm right in saying, does he work with Peter Ebdon?
He has in the past, yeah.
He needs to work with Peter Ebdon more.
Because Peter Ebdon is one of the great competitors of snooker.
I'm saying it now on the Snooker Hall podcast. I hope Peter Ebdon and Jack Lisowski listen to this. Work together. Because I think, imagine Jack Lisowski had Peter Ebdon's mentality. It would be, win loads.
Yeah.
So, yeah, go on, Peter. Help him out.
It's because I think he's got a new coach. He's working with Chris Henry at the moment.
That's fine.
Who seems to be doing something right.
Stay with Chris Henry. Because Chris Henry's obviously getting that bit right. I just want Peter Ebdon to get that bit right. You know what I mean? The other part.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And I know Peter Ebdon was often slow and boring and negative. I disagree completely. I think Peter Ebdon was just one of the most intelligent, adaptable players we've ever seen in snooker. And that man could scrap.
Yeah, he could scrap. And people just remember that game against Ronnie. That's the problem.
Yeah,
remember that one
game.
And
again, Ronnie O'Sullivan tainted Peter Ebdon's reputation forever, as he has done with Mark Selby, as he has done with many others, through careless, sloppy comments. But Peter Ebdon was a top quality player. He was a world champion. He won the UK championship.
against
How
Stephen
many
Henry.
tournaments did he win? 9, 10 ranking events Peter Ebdon won?
Yeah.
Yeah, you don't win that by grinding out wins every week. That man could play snooker, and when he had to attack, he did it.
Yeah.
But that mentality he had, never beaten. Like, you beat Stephen Hendry 18-17 in a World Championship final. You've got some guts. And if you can pass that on, and that's why Sean Murphy has improved recently. He's been working with Peter Ebdon, and you can see the difference.
Yeah, he has.
In Sean's games. Sean is tougher. Sean's always been an amazing player, but that mentality side, sometimes he just loses a bit of focus. But Peter has, what would you say, knocked it out of him.
Yeah, I think Sean Murphy's in the best form of his career. The last 12 months, I think he's the best I've ever seen him play consistently.
Well,
I know he's.
That's a great segue.
I know. Yeah, go on.
Well, no, go on. Finish your point.
I was
I'll
just
ask
going
you
to
the
say
segue
that I
question.
know that obviously he won the World Championship and he won the Masters 10 years ago, and he's had great tournaments. But I think the last 12 months, I think he's been as good as anybody, really. So,
well, my segue question actually leads to that. If we look at not seasons but calendar years, 2025.
yeah,
who has been the player of the year? I got to say, Sean Murphy's got to be up there. John Higgins has got to be up there.
yeah. Sean
Neil Robertson, I would say, has been pretty good.
Yeah. If the season stopped in the summer, I would have said Kyron Wilson because I think he won the German and the Players' Championship. I know he's had a little bit of trouble with his wife. I think his wife was ill, etc. So that could be the reason. But I think you Sean Murphy for me.
I would also say Sean Murphy. John Higgins has a good shout, but Sean Murphy won the Masters. The consistency that Sean has showed.
John Higgins is a great shout. Neil Robertson is also there. I think he's recovered very well from not being in the top 16. But I'd probably say Sean Murphy. Yeah, I think he's just every tournament I watch him, I think he can win this. You know, he's just hitting the ball unbelievable.
He's a great player. Yeah, and form, because he used that phrase a lot. My game is trending in the right direction, and I'd say it's not even trending in the right direction anymore. It's just kind of there or thereabouts all the time now. Like, he's always dangerous.
Yeah,
and he's so good to watch as well. I think he's a fantastic snooker player.
Brilliant.
On the Baize, watching him build those breaks, it's like poetry. It's like a beautiful waterfall flowing over the rocks into the sea. It's just That's a wonderful analogy, but it's it is. It's wonderful to watch. It's smooth like silk.
The issue I always have with Sean is, when you watch certain players and they might not be playing their best, but they always seem to play well. So what I mean is people like Judd and Kyron, Mark Williams, Ronnie O'Sullivan, even though Ronnie says he's not playing well, he usually is playing well. Sean sometimes isn't in that category. He'll go 3-4 tournaments where he does play. He looks pretty awful. It has happened in the past. And I've always thought Sean should be in that category where every tournament he can win the tournament, just simply. And I think maybe the B game wasn't there, but working with Peter Ebdon has obviously helped him. And at the Masters, he was unbelievable. He got to the final of the British Open as well. No, he got to the final of the Gien Grand Prix. And I was expecting to beat Mark Williams, but Mark Williams had one of them days, and
one of those days where he's just in the zone.
Yeah. But no, I would say Sean Murphy for 2025. I think he could add to that Masters as well this season. I think he could add to that Triple Crown wise. I think he's going to be there or thereabouts.
Well, he's up to 4 Triple Crown events now. I mean, if he goes and wins the UK Championship, is anyone really surprised?
No,
I would say no.
I wouldn't be surprised at all. I wouldn't be surprised at all.
And then he really starts climbing up that Triple Crown ladder. It's
I think the Triple Crowns he'll get more. World titles is the one that I would say I need to see more of it at the Crucible because it's hard, 17 days. Not many people have won there consistently, but if he plays like he did at the Masters, no one's going to beat him.
So, speaking of the UK Championship, I did look at trying to go to the UK Championship. It's going to be tough for me. I've got things going on, but
me too.
Have you got any events lined up?
No, I'll be going to the
your
Masters.
calendar?
I go to the Masters every year because I'm from London, and I will be doing some fan stuff there. Hopefully, might be doing some fan-led videos, which will be good. But the Masters will be somewhere I'm trying to go. I will be trying to go to the Crucible, obviously, and I'm trying to go to Manchester for the Tour Championship. I think that's in Manchester. Yeah,
Yeah.
I want to go there because I've never actually been to that venue. And I remember when the Player Series first came around, the venues that they were in weren't terrible venues. But now we've got Manchester Central, which is a big venue, big city. It deserves to be that event. So I love to go to Manchester. I wanted to go to York, but it's that time of year, isn't it? It's Christmas is coming up. It's it is tough, but yeah, I've never been to the Barbican, which would I want to go to all three of the Triple Crown venues, and I haven't been to the Barbican, so yeah, I might have to go soon.
No, if I were more organised, maybe I would be there this year. But I know the tickets for next year's event, 2026 UK Championship, go on sale on the 4th of December. And I'm going to organise myself so that I can actually go to it this year.
Yeah.
Or that year, next year, should I say.
Yeah. I think
and I will be, I want to go there. And I agree with you, I'm looking at whether I can get a quick weekend in Manchester for the Tour Championship. Just because, again, it's one of those tournaments where it's, you're getting the creme de la creme of snooker players.
Yeah,
that final's going to be a banger, whoever's playing. First to 10, boom. Yeah.
Proper event.
Yeah. Speaking of Sean Murphy and the Masters, actually, I'm not going to the Masters this season, but last season for the semi-final, I took my mum to Ali Pali, and she likes a bit of snooker, but she'd never been to live snooker before. The first session she goes to, Sean Murphy hits a maximum.
Oh, wow. You probably think it's going to happen every week.
And now she's got the bug, so I'm going to Berlin. I'm going to the final in Berlin, and my mum's flying out to meet me there. So
Berlin's a great venue.
Absolutely fantastic.
Yeah.
It really is. The vibe, the atmosphere, people, it's full.
Yeah.
The Tempodrome is full, and yeah, it's an excellent venue. So I'm really looking forward to that. And this time, Berlin's a great city to visit for a weekend anyway, but I'm just going on the Saturday, final on the Sunday, leaving on the Monday. So snooker is the main thing there. Yeah.
Yeah.
I'm going to the Crucible final. I've got all sessions of that actually.
Wow.
So I'm really looking forward to that.
Wow.
I'm going to look at Manchester. I'm looking at Edinburgh. If I can find, I think I might be able to get a ticket or two there.
For me, that's another tough part of the year, right near Christmas, isn't it? The Scottish Open.
Yeah, and that's the snag with it. It's just before Christmas, and it's flight's going to be expensive, but yeah, I'll see what I can do. But there are a couple that I would like to cross off my snooker list. Yeah.
Yeah, I definitely want to go to Manchester. That would be my one.
Tour Championship, yeah. Now I've got the bug. I might look at flights after this actually. But you said you might do some fan content at the Masters at Alexandra Palace.
Yeah. So my plan is to go there. Obviously, I'll be going there to watch the snooker, but my plan is to also go there to do some video recording. So I would like to do a fan video. I actually speaking to a guy yesterday who DM'd me on Instagram and referred to me as Baize, which was funny. But yeah, I asked him if he'd be interested to be involved, and he was pretty positive about it. I just want to do a video where I just ask people some questions. Go the Ali Pali's got 2,000 fans, so there's always snooker people around, and if I can get a camera someone to film me, I'd ask people some questions. And I think doing that's the one problem I think with snooker content on YouTube is it's very sort of, it's either highlights and shot sort of compilations, or it's like qualitative content made by Hendry, great channel by the way, or like Break from Life, who's brilliant. But Break from Life, he makes the same videos all the time, which is great because the content changes, the shots change. But he doesn't go and interview people. He doesn't go and ask people for their opinion. He doesn't. And for me, I really want to grow a channel where I can go to the fans, get the fans on camera. You know, there's a buzz about snooker, but it doesn't. I don't think it's shown in the UK. So one of my big things would be going to the Masters, getting some people on camera, ask the people what they, who's their best favourite player, or what's their first match and stuff like that, and talk to them and and get them involved, because it's all good for engagement. And the more engagement I get, the more snooker gets views on YouTube, and the more the algorithm goes up, and the more popular the sport becomes. Because that's one of the reasons why I made the YouTube channel. Was actually before the World Championship in 2025. I wanted to watch some content, and I was like, "There's nothing." Of course, there is your Q-tips, your Sean Murphys, your Break from Lives. They're great channels, but the kind of content I'm making mostly was just AI made content with AI voiceovers and AI. But I want to get my face on camera. I want to, be you look at, say, other sports like football and golf. There's thousands of channels where fans lead debates, and snooker has really nothing like that. So I thought, let's do it. And I will be going to Ali Pally. I will be interviewing some fans. They might all tell me to go away, but they might, hopefully we'll get some content, and then it'll be good. I'd like to do it at the Crucible as well, which would be another thing. But that's what my plans are.
And where can snooker fans find this content?
My content, they can go to YouTube.
Yes.
They can go to YouTube and they can subscribe to me on Baize Breakdown. Videos every Wednesday and Sunday for the foreseeable future. I try and post at least once a week. There are consistent community engagement. There's polls. I've literally just run a poll last night, which is who do they think that's going to win the Champion of Champions. I think Judd Trump's winning that at the moment. And I do that all the time. So if you want a video idea, tell me. I'll put it in a community post. People will vote on it. And if your idea wins, we'll make the video. I don't want it to be just me making videos and everyone listening. Get involved, subscribe, talk to me, follow me on Instagram, get involved with the channel, and I'll try and make as many videos as I can that the people want to see. It's a democracy. It's not a dictatorship.
Good. People have a say. Well, Tom, I want to say thank you for your time. It's been great chatting to you about snooker. I love talking about snooker.
Yeah, me too. Thanks
and
very
it
much.
Seems that you do too.
Yeah, thanks very much for having me. I really enjoyed it. Yeah.
It's been great to have you on. You're always welcome back. And quick look at what's coming up on the Snooker Hall podcast. From WST Security, Mark King will join us soon to talk about what happens at events, how he and the rest of the team keep us safe at snooker tournaments, and to review the UK Championship and to look back at the first half of the season. I'll be joined by one of the great voices in snooker, Mr. Phil Yates. So keep an eye on your podcast feed for those episodes. Tom, once again, thanks for your time. It's been wonderful talking to you.
Cheers, Dan. Thanks, mate.
And I'll see you soon.
See you soon.
Thanks, mate.